So this is it. Today I was faced. This is channeling Jesus, day number 4, I believe, in this series of channeling Jesus, me channeling Jesus. And I notice that every single day there is a resistance. There is some resistance. The first 3 days, it was more me, from internal, like I didn't want to do it type of thing. I still can feel today that my body is a little bit heavier. It becomes heavier before. It is as if I've had to ground deeper for him to come through in a deeper way, the way that he is. And then after, I just feel so much, and it's very different from channeling, let's say, my higher self, because that comes through very naturally. That just happens when I raise in frequency. Then my higher self comes through, almost almost like a normal conversation. That's what many of these conversations are. They are bringing higher knowledge into, because I'm also connected. But he has a very particular energy that is different. It's exciting to feel, because I can feel energy. And so it's exciting to feel how his energy is inside of me. I'm always left feeling so expansive and so open, and my heart is just really, really big. And so and today there is music and barbecue, disturbances. Oh, is this a good day? Or shouldn't I do this? Is this a sign? But I'm taking this as a sign now that I'm expanding into something. Because there is something to this. I'm just following what I'm feeling and sensing and sharing this with you, because this is how I've learned to look at reality, to be able to channel this way. It's one thing of what I've been through. Been through many transformations to get to this place. And this is what the program Holistic Optimizer is built for. It's built for people to be guided through this. So that is available if you want to learn more. There's a link in the description. So it seems to be that there is resistance to this and to this information that I feel. And I remember when I was assisting this channeler with channeling Jesus, I remember that there was a moment where she was asked to channel his book, and that those were really profound books. I really resonated with them. And that's why I felt like I was aligned, because I was working with him. But then there was some human interaction that made this not go and continue, because my human and her human had some incongruencies to kind of work together. I hadn't figured this stuff out yet, right? And so she was being triggered by my light also. It was a lot of that. So it was interesting. It's interesting now looking back, seeing what actually happened energetically, because that's what it is. For him to come through, there needs to be some adjustment within the energy framework of each human. So there is a continuous adjustment to this being's energy body to bring through bigger and bigger energy through this being, for stubbornly being on this path to growing spiritually and being stubborn to what feels good to this body and what feels right. He has been very stubborn, silently, trying to figure stuff out, and he has figured so much out. That's why he is such a clear channel. And there is program for you to learn how to do this, because this is nothing special. This is a natural byproduct of these human energy systems operating with more energy. That is all. That is all what intuition is. There is no magical gifts. It's just more energy that can be trained to enhance your energy. So that can be trained to enhance it, to not just have a limited perspective through these vessels, but that you can actually have a grander effect on life, on the world around you. Expanded. And that's what this being is in training for, this journey. And he's not the full master yet, but he's on his way. He has figured stuff out. So when he trips up, he knows the path back to his compass, and he knows how to get other people back to his compass, which is very helpful. It's very helpful for us, because then we can communicate with you. And so each and every one of us has this clear channel to the divine. That is like your link up. It's not AI, it's HI, higher intelligence. It is highly intelligent, and it is new ideas that comes from there. And you can learn how to link up so that you get HI downloaded straight into your being, and you get upgraded to these new frequencies. That is what these times are asking of you. Actually, that is what these times are asking, for you guys to land properly in your bodies, operating these bodies, these holy temples. Down here on the physical, there are different levels of comprehension of how to raise. It's not about an above-down perspective. No, it is each person, we are raising our frequency. And some people need a little bit of this. Some people need a little bit of that. And those are just spices to mix it up, because you as a soul, your body is your project. You get to play with this while you're here. So play. Dress up. Look good. Treat your body well. But know that that's not the totality of who you are. Because you're much grander and bigger than those bodies. Those bodies, the way that you can accurately depict this is that those bodies are the aftermath of your energy, or whatever trained energy that you have accustomed your body to. And that can be lineage, that can be friends, that can be family, that can be TV, movie, influences, parents, everything influences the energy. And many times it's easy to get caught in these energy kind of nuts internally. Like you can entangle yourself with different energies because you don't see reality accurately from an energetic perspective. That is the game. For you to get this game, you need to learn energy mastery. You need to master your energy, and you need to actually get what this energy is, this system. It's actually the most important thing that people need to hear growing up, because it's the basics of how to be a successful human, is to learn about the truth of energy and how and what feelings mean what. Because this feeling, kinesthetic abilities, that's much grander than most others, because you can feel and sense microscopic things. There are intuitive beings now that can, almost like with a microscope, using their intuition, that's just an enhanced ability that these systems can operate with in order to have these, what some people call abilities. They're the most natural thing when you are aligned. And if you don't have them, you're not aligned. That should tell you something. There is a direct cause and effect. Just that they are not online means that you are not online. That means you're not landed in your body. You have to land in your body for you to be here for real. Not just listening to thoughts and doing what the thoughts tell you. That is you being plugged into another program that's dictating to you what you should do and not do. That's what thoughts are. So that whole construct can't be trusted. You have to disengage from that entire energy construct. And you can do that. You don't have to go in there and listen to if you hear a bad conversation, you don't go in there and listen to the bad conversation and keep listening. No, you remove yourself. The same way, you just, no, that's not my channel. And then you shift your energy and you attune your vibration to a higher frequency. And that's how you do it. Steadily. Practice knowing that there are little pitfalls energetically that you can get yourself into. That is very good to have a guide to get and help you out of there, so you can see the whole picture, so that you don't get lost into the games. You don't get lost thinking that you're this poor person that have a disability. That's just a mindset. Turn that into your greatest gift, whatever it is, because that's what you're asked to do. That therein lies your purpose. The purpose comes through the suffering, in a way, and what you have deemed as suffering, right? And then you just go into it. How can we befriend this? That's why you came with this. Because you came to conquer it somehow. But what are you conquering? You're conquering your own... You're harmonizing your own incongruencies towards whatever. That's what you're harmonizing. So you're harmonizing the inside. And you can do that in many different ways. If you feel distorted energies, you can pull it into your sacred heart fire, or sacred heart of Jesus, some people have called it. I know that there are other beings that have talked about this, but I received it very clearly exactly why. Because right in here, this tiny speck of the heart, the frequency of the body inside this area there is no duality in here. By definition, it's not just energy, whoa, it's just energy. It's not really real. No, it's literally because the frequency of the heart, inside of the heart, is inside the dualism, the two hemisphere, the two parts of the body, the symmetry, inside the middle of the top and the bottom. It's inside of the middle of neutrality. There is a frequency of neutrality inside of the body, literally. It's not a pretend. Many manifestation techniques are pretend. They are trying to manipulate your thoughts. But this is not a pretend thing. It is literally that space within the human body that you can trust because of the symmetry and because of the laws of this is the feminine and this is the masculine. Right? And so each have a side. And if you're unbalanced, you're going to be addressing life in a certain way. If you are on the other side, you're going to address it in that way. But in order for you to commune with higher consciousness, you have to harmonize those two so that there is no harmony. So there is no disharmony inside. So that there is clarity, and so that your energy comes balanced through your system. So that your system is in harmony. And there, when you are in balance and you see life through that lens, then, and you're sitting in truth, staying in the moment, a balanced mind, balanced, calm, collected, clear, clean, using the senses, listening, birds here, birds there, little thing here, little there, feeling the connection. Not as a thought, like me, because I'm translating, there is a thought. And then there's words. Not like that, but just feeling it. Just acknowledging it in senses. Because when you're acknowledging your senses, you're acknowledging your body. And your body is a holy place. You treat it holy, because that's where your light flows through. So you have to protect that light when you want to anchor more light. Because that more light needs to expand where the old was a little crooked. And that little crookedness needs a little bit of, what should we say? Strength. Determination. More of that. To buck a distorted energy out of the way. That's how it's translated inside of the body. That's how you translate it when you read from the inside out. So you have to read in balance, receiving. A little water, I think. Sometimes it just stops, that stream. And I'm just waiting for it to... I think that's just me. I think it's just getting used to it and doing it more and more and more consistently. And then I feel that's what it is with everything, right? Everything has this way of, the more you do it, the more it will be ingrained. So that is exactly what needs to happen for the positive, so that you actually can experience this way of being. There needs to be repetitive motion in the right direction. That's the reason why we created this 28-day consciousness shift program, so that you get that drip every day, moving in this direction of unity, wholeness, so that you get to attune yourself to the truth of who you are. Like the kid. Right? I just didn't translate it fast enough because I was in it. But that was confirmation. That's how it happens when you are aligned. You get these confirmations that means things, right? And so these are the signals. And I'm speaking of them, but I want you to feel them. So I'm speaking of your senses. We are training you to to feel this more, to feel this way of being more. Because this is the way that you are maintaining your own energy flow, so that you are making sure that you're not leaking your energy to other sources. Because you're not meant to leak your energy to other sources. How do you know if you're leaking energy? By your consciousness and by your actions. What are you entertaining? What are you watching? You can see it clearly. If someone is under the influence of the habitual patterns of behavior, or if someone is deliberately in creation mode and they are aligned, it's very easy to see. Many beings, even the ones that are aligned and sometimes they have this screwy, like pleasing other people type of alignment. That is not a good, that is sort of like a leakage of energy that we're talking about. That's one example of that. So that you have the correct perception of energy flow. And this is not about being liked or disliked. It has nothing to do with that. It's not about a popularity contest. It's not about being better than. It's just about being in energy congruency with truth, integrity, and just being a good, solid, grounded human, expanding in expression and in ways of being and behaving in the world that is expansive for that being. Like there's so much expansion happening here. There is some resistance, and then there is growth when the being walks that path into those places that are a little bit scary, but they grow the character. Because channeling Jesus is not a small task to do. There are many psychological booby traps that you have to go through to be able to just, okay, I'm just doing this. It's a big deal. So we know that you are doing excellent work by coming this far. And we know where you want to go. And we know the way there. And we are guiding you there. It is slow and steady, focused each and every day in the right direction. Accumulate over time. That will produce results. Just the way that this being has. First of all, been through a lot of rebirth, seeing his shadows, accepting a whole reconstruction of the ego, so that he could see the truth. And then that truth matches with our frequency. And so he harmonized his masculine and his feminine. And that is a calibration that needs to be maintained. And he is doing that every day. Sometimes he slips up and then he gets back in again. He has tools to come back in that will help so many beings. So if you are struggling with any of these ways, join the program. It will do wonders to start to train your consciousness into a different way of being, different way of thinking about reality and what you're actually seeing. Correcting your perceptions from the inside out as the operating system for real, so that we can start to reprogram our reality so that we can see it accurately, first and foremost, energetically accurately. It's the only sensible thing. If not, you're in duality, by definition. And that leaves clues for the beings that are aligned, for the beings that can see. That's why I can be of great service to you. Because if you don't have this alignment, then I can help you. That's what this is all about. Oh, sometimes it just has to be okay to just stop. You know, you get on this, suddenly it's just the body is just stop a little bit. Sometimes it's like that. I think that was all, actually. That was all what we wanted to say. Thank you so much for listening. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and sign up for the newsletter. Yeah, everything else has been said, I think, by them. So I'll leave you. You might... No. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.